Here we have the prototype proof of concept Jamstone Magic's magnetic storyboard. And it can be used for any storytelling situation that you might have, where you would have a larger audience, or just reading the story out of a small children's storybook really wouldn't be the best, wouldn't be ideal, because you're reading a small book and you might have an audience of 100 or more. And of course, that many people, they can't see that small book. This past season, I did Santa, and most of the crowds were roughly in that 100 to 150 so people in the room, and I did magic and stuff. But if I were doing stories, if Mrs. Claus was doing stories, that small storybook really wouldn't quite hold the punch of a larger storyboard. So here we have a roughly 2 foot by 3 foot or so storyboard. The background will be printed on a canvas with magnets that would hold it to the magnetic board. And the easel you would supply yourself. I like this artist easel for ours. I kind of like the rough style look that provides with the brass knobs and stuff. I think it looks, in my opinion, Christmassy or Santa-y, if you will. So as you're telling the story, you would put up pieces of the story. So you would put up, in this particular instance, the only scene that I've made for proof of concept is a scene out of my misguided migration story, in which Quackers the duck is flying south for the winter. But little known fact is, he's going the wrong way. He doesn't realize that. And most ducks or other birds, they have a built-in GPS system, and for some reason his is out of whack, but he thinks all the other ducks are flying in the wrong direction. And instead of stopping and asking for directions, he keeps on flying till he ends up at the North Pole and becomes a snowbird, if you will. So this is proof of concept. So as you would tell the story, you would just put up the elements in the story. So if this were the night before Christmas, you might put up a background of the interior of the house. Maybe it's the fireplace. And you would say, was the night before Christmas, when all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. And you put up a little mouse over in the corner who has a little bed, and he's nestled away for the night. And maybe you would put up pictures of stockings hanging off the chimney. And then you would put up a picture of the Christmas tree. And as the children were nestled in their beds, maybe you're going to put up a different background. Maybe it's the bedroom, and you're putting magnetic pictures of the children laying in bed, and magnetic pictures of the sugar plums and the gifts that might be dancing through their heads. And then for the scene where Santa's on the roof, where he says, "Arose such clatter," you'd have an outside background, and it's the house and the stars, the roof, and you put up magnetic images of the sleigh and the 8 tiny reindeer and Santa himself about to come down the chimney. So that's how you would use it. So for a larger audience, for a Santa or a Mrs. Claus and or any other person that would be doing storytelling, this will be a great visual for them to use. I hope to have these ready sometime in the mid-year time, sometime once I get everything said and done. The images, the background images, will have printed on them a nice picture frame, so it'll look like it's a framed image when you're telling the story. But this is proof of concept of the Jamstone Magic magnetic storyboards.